Hello, I'm Dr. John Beckham, professor for self-management and self-marketing. And today I have a personal friend of mine, Richard Sellers, who I work with on a weekly basis in SCORE. And we help small businesses either expand that want to grow and some that kind of start up from scratch, and determine whether or not it's feasible for them to start a business. And if so, how can we help them? So I'm honored today to have what I consider to be an expert in marketing. So welcome. And if you could start off by tell us a little about yourself and your background.
Well, thank you, John. And you mentioned the key word, which is marketing. I'm fundamentally a marketer. I've got quite a bit of general management experience and consulting experience, but my core, my soul is marketing. That's what I love, and I have my whole career. I'm currently, in addition to working with you at SCORE, which I enjoy a lot, I'm a chairman emeritus of the Marketing Executive Networking Group, which is 1,000, 1,200 or so marketing executives. I ran that for several years. That keeps my hand in the game, which I really enjoy. Within the last 4 or 5 years, I've done over 150 coaching sessions with members of this marketing group.
Okay.
And usually coaching them on how to find a job, sometimes how to do their job better. Mm-hmm. And also do blogs on career, do webinars. In fact, make an offer to you right now that you can send out to your students a webinar, which I'll put on another week or two, but I'll send you the PowerPoint. That's how to improve your resume in 60 minutes.
Oh, excellent.
And it's chock full of information. Hate to put it this way, it's a data dump, information dump. It's not a soft, fuzzy, pretty picture type PowerPoint. I also blog for several different, what I call distributors, different group blogs, and spend a lot of time on this general area of how do you keep people up to date. About 3 years ago, I edited a book called Overcoming the Digital Divide, trying to help people typically over 40 who were behind the curve on what's happening in our new digital world. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I was the editor, certainly not the writer of that. Earlier in the career, I was at General Electric and Procter & Gamble. I think I was at 8 companies and must have had 20, 24 bosses, about that many clients when I was consulting, and ended up running marketing as a top guy for 3 multi-billion-dollar companies with a budget as much as $400 million. What you and I have found is the size of the budget really doesn't matter. Our SCORE clients, which are small businesses, are using the same thinking and strategies that the big companies are. Obviously, their tool set's different, the amount of money they can spend is different. And also, the move toward social media has added things, really not subtracted anything, but has added some tools to that category. And when you think about me and marketing, I have to go all the way back, and this is perhaps unique to high school. I got interested in journalism. I worked a little bit as a reporter in a daily paper and have a degree in journalism from University of Missouri. So everything I look at in business includes the idea of those classic questions: who, what, when, where, why, how, and in business I added how much. And if there's one takeaway from our conversation today, I hope your students will use those classic journalism questions as they look at projects and their own career, because it can help you analyze and come to a path that you should take. And again, it's just who, what, when, where, why, how, and how much.
Now, are those great questions also for a student who's reflecting upon themselves? So even before I enter in the job market or begin searching, let me ask those questions of myself to determine what's my competencies, what are my strengths, what areas do I need to improve on, and how can I be an asset to a corporation?
You just did. That list, the way you went through it is perfect.
Okay.
And there's only a few words there, but you can apply them in many different ways. Who am I? And that's so soft in some ways, but it takes a lot of thinking. What makes me happy? What do I want to do? What am I good at? Why should somebody hire me? What should they hire me to do? Why hire me versus somebody else? How am I going to accomplish this project, which I've never seen before? Mm-hmm. Who can I get to help me? you can go through that litany and you probably have 1,000 ways you can apply those few words to come to a thinking process and uncover both strengths and weaknesses in yourself, in your approach, in your team.
Oh, great, great. Now, part of the project and the course is over 15 weeks, so we have many projects in helping a student self-reflect as well as project looking forward. And one of the initial points is resume, them building their resume and developing it. I'm quite sure as VP of big companies, you've seen probably a plethora of resumes.
Yeah.
Are there any do's and don'ts or tips that you would convey to the students and recommend for building their resume?
Well, I'll start in the process of getting to the resume and make another recommendation. It's a book that's been updated annually for, I'm guessing, 40 years, at least 35, called What Color is Your Parachute? Okay. It's the 101 course of how to find a job. And it applies a lot of things, even what job should you be doing. And there are projects in there that I highly recommend. And I recommend this book instantly to college students who I see usually a couple a year trying to help them, to CEOs. So it is very useful. It's a little fundamental, but if you will go through there and really work on it, it'll help you. What I found with my marketing executives is they have several problems. One of the biggest is that they tend to say, I can do whatever you need to be, have done. I'm really good. You should hire me. That's BS.
Yes.
It's factual, but it's not useful. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming I'm going to hire somebody that has an excellent track record. Now, somebody coming out of college has a much different track record than a 40-year-old VP. But everybody has a track record for what they've accomplished relative to their peers, and that's who they're being assessed against.
Got it.
And so you go through and figure out, the first or a couple of questions I ask when I'm interviewing somebody. The first one is, who is going to hire you? And it's a most likely. And that starts with a category and some company names, so you get a general idea. The second thing coming through there you got to build when you're thinking of your resume is, what are they going to hire you to do? And that's a combination of title and level, and under the title, some function or functions. Then the next question is, why are they going to hire you, John? Why are they going to hire me? And that's where you put together an elevator pitch, a very specific brand or positioning. You can work it either way. Different marketers love jargon. It's like every field has their own jargon, but your brand, you have a positioning, and what you have to communicate, like Vine does in about 6 seconds, which takes the elevator pitch even shorter, is a hook as to what makes you different, what makes you, phrase I use, uniquely useful.
Yes.
And you won't be the only person in the whole world that has that talent, but you need to come across with a specificity of focus. And if somebody can say, oh, this is a person who has done stuff, factual. You're from Saratoga also, so you know the name Tom Durkin, who was until end of August the world's best announcer at horse racing. Said you got to have a plot. That's the facts. That's what you've done. And you got to have a narrative. And the narrative is a story about you. And that brings the plot alive, takes it into a future tense, so somebody can view you from your history and the way you present yourself as to what you can be and can be for them. And it goes back, the more you understand who's most likely to hire you, and the better your understanding of why they're going to hire you and what they're going to hire you to do, you put the facts you have, and they are facts, in such a order and combination. You blend them in such a way that you'll stand out as being very appropriate for what that firm needs. And I say firm, it's really either a boss, a hiring manager, or a hiring team. Sometimes shall I say, muddied up with the HR department.
Yes.
You've got to learn to work with HR, but you're really hired by the department you're working for most often.
Great. I mean, you just gave some great information, some solid snippets, and I kind of want to unpackage these systematically. Okay. So that's some great information for someone that's building a resume. They're thinking forward, thinking of who's going to look at this, and trying to properly disseminate the accurate information that is useful. Mm-hmm. All right. So now they have the resume in hand. What about the marketing and self-marketing? So there's a self-marketing strategy, and then there are self-marketing tools. Can you talk about...
We are here, folks. There we go. We're obviously not moving around very much. This is not a verbal light. Yeah, that's funny. So let there be light.
Yeah. So can you talk about a little bit about the self-marketing strategy versus the self-marketing tool, and how to properly use both of those for the person's student's benefit?
And these things overlap.
Okay.
Very much. The most important thing is to earn respect of people who have respect. So you can do that many ways simply by doing a good job in whatever you're doing. That can be, with your professors in the coursework, with your teammates. Some of the best job openings you'll ever hear of come from your peers, who may or may not even be in the same field. But you start by earning respect by people who have respect. Because if you or I are asked for, who do you know? We are only going to give names of people that we think would reflect positively on us.
Absolutely.
So that says I give very few references. And the references that I give are targeted to where I think the person will fit both job skill and corporate personality, because both are about equally important. Mm-hmm. If you take that as first step, and you've heard every time we meet, I think I say, okay, who do you know? Do you have a database of them? Build your database. And that can be at many different levels of this respect, and you do go out broader than what I'm indicating. So that's a first tool and first strategic approach, and they're really combined. And if you don't have a network, the first thing you need to do is start building that network. And I will admit, and I'm sure it's got to be true with you because it's true with about 98% of people, a number I made up right on the spot, that you're not keeping your network up to date.
Oh, absolutely.
So for the people who are 2-3 years into their career, let alone 20 or 30, this is a lifetime requirement, because I'll say life happens. I'll clean up what I usually say. Life happens. Uh-huh. And there are going to be times when you need your network. Yes. Maybe to get a job, maybe a reference. Very often you need a contact in a completely different field. You're looking for a lawyer, a developer, whatever. You go to your contact list first. And that's still what's very old-fashioned. That's the first part of networking. After that, you can go out to a broader base with social media, etc.
Social media is a great segue. Our students are learning some of the social media tools that are out there. LinkedIn is the most popular right now, but that's not the only one. Yeah. So what ways or avenues can an individual begin to self-market themselves using social media?
Well, we're talking professional jobs now, so let's go with LinkedIn first. Okay. And LinkedIn, I just did a kind of analysis of 13 members of my marketing group who I know are really good at self-promotion. And they all had 500 plus contacts. Most of them are people they actually know or are from groups that they highly respect. A few of them are open-ended. They have a positioning, like we just mentioned, on there. They have content that shows their full history. Not necessarily their results, but at least where they were, what the title was, what they're responsible for. They have managed their endorsements of skills so that they're fitting into what these people actually can do and want to be known for, because that's relatively speaking your brand, that list of skills. That's what people think you are. Therefore, accurate or not, that's kind of who you are from a branding point of view. And they go through, they're putting information on there. They're putting PowerPoints or videos, on there. That is, and joining groups, you've got to join and work with the right groups. And so pick, I'm probably a member of 40 groups, but I work with probably 5 or 6 that I'm most interested in. The rest are just kind of just sitting out there. And I think that's a good approach. As you're younger, you won't have as many, but you need to build that up. And those people go back to people you respect, people who know you, and you build that. And it is fine to find people you would like to link to that you don't really know and introduce yourself with a very personalized note. And as you're working through that, LinkedIn for careers is number one. Okay, it's a full stop, take a deep breath, then you go on and think about other things. There are people who are using videos like this to really build their awareness and reputation. Blogs, I do a lot of blogging. I really enjoy it as a way to give information, and the blogs I'm on, I think, says a lot about me. It's not just what my blog said. I'm on Ming Online, which is a marketing group. I'm on ShellyPalmer.com, which is my personal guru. That's the interface of entertainment, media, and technology. I'm on a small one for small businesses that I just think does a wonderful job. And then I'll get picked up most of the time by business to communications. Mm-hmm. A very nice source there. So that's the first thing, and I would do that right, the LinkedIn, and then move into video or blogs. Now, if you're in a design business or something that is very visual, you're going to use the YouTube much more. You're going to use Pinterest. There is no one list right for everybody. So think about your industry and how to communicate that. I enjoy Twitter a lot. I send out marketing and career information on Twitter and keep it fairly small. I think I have about 700 followers. I don't care to go too broad. That's not my objective. I want to be of use to people I think are highly interested in the subjects I'm communicating. So everybody needs to fix their list, realizing that after they go through and analyze it, you can't do it all, but you need to do a certain amount. And it's a way to just communicate what you would have 10 years ago via, post office. Mm-hmm. In fact, direct mail, I think, is maybe, and I'm guessing this, I've done a lot of direct mail, maybe more successful today than it was 10 years ago, because I don't know about your inbox, but other than the catalogs, I don't get much mail.
No.
And, and
so... occasional bill.
Yeah, so I look at my mail.
Yeah.
10, 20 years ago, an inbox like this, who could look at all that?
Right, and now the inbox, which is overfilled and flooded, is now my email.
Oh.
And you're right. Now I tend to try to scan through my emails because I'm receiving so many.
And the new Google or Gmail approach, which is just in beta testing, sounds like a more confusing answer to the simplistic chronological order that may be, intellectually it's fantastic. From a practical point of view, I'm not sure it's going to be doable. Right. Maybe version 6.
Yes. And Google is known for starting things, figuring out whether or not it works or not, continually, or either slamming it.
Oh, yeah.